This week's episode is brought to you by Human Sound Studios. How's it going, everyone? This is John from the Untamed podcast, and I'm just here to let you know that the band that I play in, Desert Fish, will be at the Marquee Theater in Phoenix, Arizona on August 21st, alongside Catch a Fire, Earth Cry, Jam Now, The Conveyors, and Jalos and the Rebels. If you need tickets, they are available for $15 from us. DM us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anything like that to get yourself one and skip all of the unnecessary fees and hassle of buying your tickets online. Hello, everyone. John here from the Untamed podcast. Before we start today's episode, I'd just like to begin with a brief preface. This is a warning that today's episode does get a little bit controversial when we get into our topic. Everyone's opinion on this show is completely their own. We debate a little bit and at points don't even agree with each other on these issues. I ask that before you have a visceral reaction, you listen to the entire episode and form your own opinion on the subject. The purpose of this show is not to intentionally offend you, but rather to have an open discussion. If you agree or disagree, we'd like to hear from you. We would like to hear all sides. We want an open dialogue with everyone on these subjects because that is how we move forward. Please contact us at theuntamedpodcast.wild@gmail.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening. Without any further delay, let's get into today's episode. Those are some solid dance moves there, Juan.
I was using the whammy bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The tremolo bar?
You know
the
what I
whammy
mean?
bar?
Yeah. Welcome to the Untamed podcast. I'm Juan.
And I am John.
And this is Julia.
Hi.
And this is episode 12.
Yes.
Episode 12. And we're excited to be here. And it's all good.
And we missed a week.
We did.
And I'm so sorry about it.
It's
On
John's
behalf of
fault.
Juan.
Well,
It was a combination of things.
Combination of all of things.
Yeah. Olives.
So I had a thing going on Sunday.
Last Sunday when we were supposed to do this episode.
And usually we make up the podcast on like Monday or Tuesday. And John was so fucking busy.
I'm sorry. It's been a hectic couple of weeks.
It's
for
fine.
me.
I agree. For me too.
DF has a lot of stuff going on, and
Did you say Dia?
DF, as in Desert Fish,
Yeah, Dia.
like the band that I play in, you know?
Oh. Did you change it? Did you change it to Dia?
To
No.
Dia?
Mhm.
Negative.
Well, it sounded like you said Dia.
No.
That's what I heard.
I just say DF because it's quick.
So what kinds of things is going on here, man?
Well, we've got new music that we're working on that we are excited to put out. So finishing that kind of stuff up. Monday and Tuesday we had full band rehearsal.
Yep.
And then also, so after full band rehearsal was over, then it turned into us working on the music. Because right now we're at a point where all the main parts are recorded, and it's kind of like I argue this is probably one of the most creative points when you're writing is to like find little like what we call ear candy things. So like little extra noises or like a shaker or, you know, a rain stick here or like any of that kind of stuff where you get to like kind of think outside of the box.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing right now is going through all that. Plus like recording the last little like harmonies of vocals, couple different things. I have we have a feature on one of the songs.
Yeah.
And so we took some of his vocals, and there's a plugin in Pro Tools where I'm able to kind of chop his vocals up. Yeah. And then I load it onto the keyboard so I can play it like it's a key patch.
Oh, I saw you doing that actually on Snapchat or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. It's kind of weird.
Do I know your feature?
You do, yes. The people don't. I mean, the people probably do.
The people
listening. The people listening probably do. I don't know if I can say it yet, though. so I won't.
Fine then, keep your secrets.
Yeah.
I will. There's a lot of
All right,
secretive
then
stuff.
keep your secrets.
That and then
John, you're so loud.
I can turn me down.
Look at
Sorry.
you. Look at you compared to me.
Well, the thing is, after the editing, we all become the same volume. So
Okay.
I'll just turn it down over there. That way I'm not so loud
Okay.
in your ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My eardrums are vibrating.
Well, they always vibrate when you
No.
hear stuff.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Anyways.
Oh yeah, I was saying we've been working for a while on some of the financial stuff on the back end of the band because we're working on getting our travel situation better.
Yeah.
So we can. Oh my God. That was Julia.
I'm sorry. I'm a mess right now.
But yeah, working on some of the financial stuff on the back end, like the business side of stuff.
But what do you mean by like getting your travels better?
So like before we've driven in SUVs or in we drove in one SUV to Colorado, which was very tight. Or we drove in an SUV with all the gear we needed, minus a drum kit that we borrowed from my friend in Cali. We drove out there in an SUV with all the guitars and amps and stuff, and it's really, really cramped to get 4 dudes in a little Mazda. So we've done that. We've rented vans. We've rented trailers, all that kind of stuff. We are making the jump with our because our band is now an official LLC, has been for a little bit now. So we're making that jump, and the band as an entity is purchasing a new transportation unit, whether it be a big like 12 pass or a 15 pass or whatever, a big van and a trailer and all that kind of stuff.
Just buy a bus.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of money. I would love to buy a bus with bunks and shit. That'd be great.
Yeah, go to the junkyard.
Yeah, okay.
Fine.
What kind of bus?
Like a school bus.
Start a fundraiser.
So the problem with school buses is you have a very limited amount of time to renovate them and prove that they're no longer in use for school buses.
I don't know what that means.
So like when you buy a school bus, right? It just looks like a school bus. You have to paint it a different color. You have to take all those shit that's in it out. And because my friend actually just did this, so the regulations might be a little bit different if we're not using it as like a mobile home. But that's what they did. They converted it into like they were living in the school bus. So they had to prove that they had running water and they had put extra electricity, which means a generator on top and like insulation and shit like that to make it like a livable space.
Wow.
So you have a very limited amount of time to do that. So it's cheap to buy the bus, but then it's super expensive to do all of the conversion to it.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, we thought about doing that route before, but just looking into it more, it was just like, probably not. It's just the amount of work that's involved in doing that and how much time it would take. It's way more than us buying a van and like building a bunk in the back of the van, because what we want to do is get like a 15 passenger, 12 passenger van and then take the back rows of seats out and put bunks into it.
Right.
My buddy Skylar from California, he's in a band. That's what his van looks like, and it's really cool.
That's cool.
When you go in it. Yeah, you open the side and like one of the seats is actually moved against the window.
Yeah.
When you like open the doors, and it's like a big open area, and then there's like a double bunk bed in the back that's like 2 full sizes, so you can fit 2 people in each bunk.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do right now.
That's really
and
cool.
And then have a trailer for all the gear.
I want to sleep in it.
Me too. I'm excited to have it. Rather than sleeping in an SUV with 4 people is shitty.
I bet. I mean, I know.
Yeah.
I do know. I know the feeling.
I can sleep anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, you can sleep anywhere until it's like day 4.
Right.
And you've been sleeping that way for 4 days. And you're like, I don't want to do this. I just want my bed. But you're in another state.
That's true.
Yeah. So we've been doing that. And then we also been working on our beer, which is cool.
You can't say it like that. You gotta like officially announce it.
Okay,
Announce
so
it.
I've been
rewind.
we've been working on some stuff from before that I
Yeah.
was talking about that I couldn't say anything about.
Right.
So now it's officially out on our Instagram and our Facebook and everything. But we're doing an official collaboration beer with Crooked Tooth Brewing Company
Dope.
here in Tucson.
Awesome.
So It's Getting Late IPA
Yeah,
should be awesome. I'm excited as hell
that's
for it.
gonna be great.
Yeah, so it's brewing right now. We went and on brew day or whatever when you actually like start it and everything, because now it's like it's got to ferment forever, or that's like 2 weeks or something in the big fermenting tank, like with the cone on the bottom.
Yeah,
But we went there for the actual like process of getting it ready for that.
that's cool.
And then we were working on a little promo video earlier when you got here. But on September 5th, we are having a show at Crooked Tooth to release the beer because it'll be available then on tap.
What day is that?
It's a Thursday, I believe.
Thursday.
Thursday?
Thursday.
Yeah, I believe it's a Thursday.
To Thursday.
So it's down on 6th and 6th here in town.
6th
And
and 6th. 6th Street
And
6th
6th
Avenue.
Yeah.
So don't
It's a
forget
cool
to
place.
go check out Desert Fish and their new beer. What's it called again?
It's Getting Late IPA. It's going to be a hazy IPA.
It's getting late.
Yeah, like our album. It's Getting Late.
Dude, I almost started singing one of your songs.
It's good though. It means it's stuck in your head.
I know, and you you hit me up to go take pictures
Yeah.
for the beer,
Yes, it did.
and I couldn't make it, and I felt so terrible, dude. I was like, I felt
It's all
bad,
good.
but then I was like, dude, like I have so much on my plate, dude.
No, I feel you.
Especially
And that's
that
why I was
day.
like, it's
Yeah.
fine if you don't, like if you can't make it.
Yeah. So originally I was just gonna go straight from work because you were like gonna go at what, like 7:30
yeah.
or 7.
Yeah, we ended up getting there at about 8:30.
Yeah. So I forgot my camera. And then like once by the time I would have gotten home, because I work pretty far from my house. So it was like by the time I got home, got my camera, left, got to the fucking brewery. You guys probably would have already started, and
Yeah.
then I wouldn't have slept again. So I had those pictures that I had to do for you guys, your merch pictures.
Yes,
So I
which thank you
figured
again for doing those.
You're welcome.
They came out really cool. If you haven't seen them, they're on the Desert Fish Instagram.
Go check them out.
Yeah.
I took those pictures.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be posting them also.
Word. Yeah,
Me
they've
too.
been doing really well. Yeah, Julia is in some of them.
I haven't got around to it.
In half of them.
Half of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just figured I was like, I should just go home and edit because I know if I don't, I won't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
And I was so behind on editing. I had like 5 shoots to do. And on Friday, I just stayed up all day and I like banged out like, I think 3 or 4 of them.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I had aside from Desert Fish stuff. Well, and also we got the big show coming up this Wednesday, so
Yeah.
it's been a bunch of promotion and trying to get people to buy tickets for that.
Have you sold your tickets?
I haven't sold all of them yet. No,
Have you sold the ones you're supposed to sell?
we haven't even made it to that number yet. Yeah, it's all right. The last couple days they fly, so because
Yeah.
everyone realizes that they need a ticket.
Like, oh my God, the show.
Yeah, they've been putting it off for weeks, and we've been, pushing it for weeks, and then they're like, "Oh shit, I do still need my ticket."
Have you thought about like
So-
going to Phoenix and just kind of like trying to promote it to the people there?
Yeah. I think I don't know. I might end up going up early. It just depends.
Mm-hmm.
I know I did that for the last Phoenix show we had, and I just was up in Phoenix selling tickets. And like,
Does
then
that work?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That works. And then like also being able to be like, if we take Cash App or Venmo or whatever, and then we just leave your ticket at will call if you can't meet. So like, we've sold tickets in Phoenix right now already, but since we're not in Phoenix, we just we get a will call list. We can write tickets that are paid for on. So we turn all the money in for the tickets and all the leftover tickets. We can hand them a stack. Like, these are all will call tickets. The money for those tickets is in this stack. They get left at the door, and then those people just show their IDs at the door and get tickets. So it's easy for us to be able to sell to like someone who's in Yuma or something who's coming to Phoenix only for the show. Then you can sell the ticket, leave it for them at will call, and then
Nice.
it's easy.
Very nice.
I
Yeah.
want to go.
It's Wednesday.
That will be my last week before I start school. And after I start school, I will have zero social life. So I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff to do before.
Well, come to the show. It's on Wednesday. The Marquee. Should be good. Hopefully. It's my first time playing that stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be great. You'll do great.
Yeah.
You're going to be great.
Should be good.
You're going to do fine.
You're going to do just fine.
It should be fun. I'm excited. I've had people ask me if I still get nervous before I go on stage, and like the short answer is no, but it's like yes
Kinda.
and no. Kinda, yeah. I get less nervous and more just like you get adrenaline ready and like your body starts just kind of going.
Yeah.
And then it's fine. You go on stage.
But you guys put on a hell of a show. So
thank you. We try.
You guys are good.
We try really hard to make sure our live set is killer, because that's how you build new fans, is by putting on a good show. Like, yeah, and that's what we do. Like, if we're not going to put on a good show, then why are we even a band?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I think that was a long roundabout way of me getting to my original point, which was that I had other editing to do outside of Desert Fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound super exciting, but I have been doing nothing but working and editing.
I know the feeling.
So I've been getting some overtime at work. So instead of going in at 10,
you've been going in earlier, huh?
I've been going in at 8.
God.
Every single day for the last 2 weeks.
And then what time do you get off in the morning?
7.
Yeah, that's insane. It's 11 hours?
Well, 10 technically.
Well, to your lunch or whatever.
My lunch, yeah.
Yeah, but you're there for 11 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's shite.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how much of a difference 2 hours makes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I got to go in 2 hours early, but when I have to go in at 10, I feel like I have so much time. You know what I mean?
Right,
but
right.
when I have to go in at 8, I'm like, fuck. It's already 8. It's already 8 o'clock. You know? Like right now, it's 8 o'clock right now.
Nice. Do you have to go in tonight?
No.
Nice.
Well, I do at 10.
Oh man.
But I told him I couldn't go in early on Sunday, so.
Nice. Because we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I find it funny, all those snaps that you send me on your lunch breaks or whatever they are. Dude, I'll
my coworker.
Because it'll be the middle of the night and I'm up because I'm editing. Yeah. And so I'll just start, my phone will be sitting over on the charger and I'll just like, broop, 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 broop. And I'm like, what the fuck is Juan sending me? And so at first I was like, why is he snapping me right now? And then after a while I was like, oh, another adventure from Juan at lunch. And I don't always respond to him, but I'm always just like, because I'll sit here and I'll just look over and open it and watch it and then just laugh to myself and then go back to editing.
What's the last one that I sent you?
I don't remember, to be honest. The last one that you sent me that I remember, I'm trying to think, because I usually just watch them real quick. It's usually you. Oh, you said, okay, I don't know if I should say this on here either. You were talking about something with your coworker that's always in them, whoever that guy is. I don't know. But you were talking about something, and then you said the word bomb, and you're like, "Oh shit! I probably shouldn't say bomb in this government building."
That was from pretty long ago.
Is it really? No, that one stuck out.
That one's from a couple weeks ago.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't say bomb in this building."
That one was really funny. And you're like, "Oh, I shouldn't say that in this building, huh?" That word.
Oh, okay.
That was funny.
Yeah, but I finally, okay, so with that wedding, right?
Yeah.
I know it's been a long fucking time that I've been editing it, but
is it done now?
It's done. Like done. But the funny thing is that I did all the pictures, right? I was done a while ago, but when I went to try to, you know how I upload everything into a Google Drive?
Yeah.
So I went to upload those photos into a Google Drive, And it took forever because there's like 500-600 pictures that I edited.
Yeah. It's a lot of pictures.
Only half of them went through and the other half wasn't.
Is it too big for the drive?
I don't know what it was. It was like it was corrupted. It had to have been the way I exported or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to update everything. I don't know if like Lightroom messed up or if I messed up, but I exported exactly the same as I do all the time.
Yeah.
So it turned out that I just had to re-edit the whole last half.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So that's why I was in such a fucking like pinch the last like week or two, because I was like, you know what? I have like another like these 300 pictures that I already did. I have to do them again. So I ended up re-editing. So I sent them
so many pictures.
I sent them the first half, and I was like, you know what, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm gonna need some more time on the rest of these pictures. I mean, these people are they're so cool, dude. Like, they were understanding, and they're great. You know what I mean? And then when they would ask, they weren't like assholes about it. They were like,
just checking in.
No, you're busy, but just checking in on the pictures. And I'm like,
yeah, and that's like, kind of how I tried to be, because I knew you had other shit. So I was like, hey, just checking in. When are these gonna be done?
And the thing is, dude, is like I'm getting so many pictures on my computer that my RAM is going really slow.
Mm-hmm. Do get an external drive and store it all. I know
that's what I need to do. Especially after I uploaded the wedding, because that one was a whole 65 gigabyte card.
God, yeah.
So now that the wedding is on there, and now I have 3,000 pictures and 600 edited pictures.
Jesus.
Separately. So now like my computer is going so slow, dude.
Yeah, I
want to upgrade the RAM on it, but
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. My windshield is still cracked.
Yikes.
It's getting bigger.
Yep, that's what they do.
I need to call Geico. Because 15 minutes saves you 50% or more on car insurance. Not an ad.
Not an ad.
Just saying.
Just saying. We have to look into figure out what insurance we want on our van.
Geico.
That's what I'm thinking.
Geico.
I have Geico.
I have Geico.
I also used to work there.
Maybe we'll go with Geico.
I did not.
We'll see. It just depends on who gives me the best rate for a business vehicle. With the four of us all like able to drive it.
I'll give you a good rate.
And how much they want to cover in terms, because we want full coverage on all of our gear that's going to be in it too, in case like our trailer gets stolen or some shit. Because people are assholes and like to take bands' trailers.
I can cover you completely.
Yeah?
With a blanket.
Thanks.
Hashtag dad jokes, dude.
Thanks for the offer.
That was an inappropriate dad joke, though.
Was it?
Well, my mind was going...
What, like he was dead or what?
No. That he was dead.
Oh, wait.
Never mind. It's fine.
Never mind. We're in two different ballparks right now.
Apparently.
Yeah, usually we're in sync. I don't know what happened. I think it's because you ignored me.
No, it's because you're sick. And get the fuck away from me.
I am away from
you. Hey, can we just mention that I hate your fucking couch and me and Julia switch spots?
I got the good side today.
So now...
Dude, I'm telling you.
So the last get a different one. Okay, so every episode I say, you know what? Hate your couch, but it's okay. And then I started sitting over there, and Julia was sitting here, and I stopped saying it.
Because it's not bad on that side.
It's not bad.
It's because this side, the thing that holds it up has broken. So you sit, that's why you sink so fucking low in it. Yeah, that's why when you sit down, you hear it like clank because it hits the ground.
So that's why now I got to say, I hit your couch, but it's all good. You know what I mean?
Technically not even my couch. It's Austin's couch.
Well, I'm sitting on a pillow.
Yeah. Are you sitting on you're sitting on one of those pillows.
No.
I wasn't sure if you borrowed Dylan's butt pillow.
No, but I should, just for a little bit extra.
Just a little extra cushion?
A little extra.
For the pushing?
Oh, God. I ain't pushing nothing.
Why? Because you got a bad back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so lazy.
It sounds like fun. You being lazy.
Me being lazy?
It was me being sarcastic.
Like,
forget about it. Fuck it.
Because you like to be on top?
No, actually. I mean, yes, but no.
Oh, what is going on here?
I don't know.
Okay, what's up, Squidward? What's up, my dude?
Yep. This is a coffee cup I got for Christmas.
Squidward is my spirit animal.
Okay.
I'm just going to picture Squidward.
Meow. I'm Gary.
Meow.
Meow.
So other than that wedding and then the photos you took for us, what else are you editing?
I did my photos from Pine Top.
Is that the one? Didn't you post like a before and after one?
Yeah,
of like a building or something?
That little cabin thing was so cool.
Wasn't it?
It looked kind of creepy.
Oh, dude.
I love
Okay,
it.
let me show you one. Okay. Sneak peek.
I mean, I like
okay?
creepy, weird shit
Sneak
like that,
peek.
but yeah, let me see it.
Oh, no. Okay, hang on.
Oh, no?
Oh, I clicked on something I shouldn't have.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
What, the hidden folder on your phone?
Okay, there's one.
Oh, yeah, that's really cool.
Huh? Okay,
Oh,
look at this
I dig
one.
it.
I got bored and I was like, dead, dude. I was editing for like 6 hours and I just got off of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I hadn't gone to sleep. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this into Photoshop and I'm going to do something
Some crazy shit?
not super crazy, but like crazy, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like sitting here like this.
Some just new
Editing,
shit
like,
that you
just,
haven't done before?
And I don't know if
Let's see.
okay, so wait.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to tell you until you see it.
Okay. Did
Okay,
you add
it's very
something,
small,
Or
yes.
Okay.
Observing.
The little eyes in it?
Yeah.
What? I want to see.
Yeah.
At first, I was like,
Oh
that's...
my god.
I saw
That
like,
is so cool.
I saw like the little things that are the cracks on your phone screen, and I was like, did he make it look like it's broken? And I was like, no,
Nope,
that's just the screen.
That's the screen. So I will be
No, that's
posting it
cool,
on
though.
Instagram probably next week. But
That's a cool picture for sure.
I'm gonna tell the audience there's one. It's a really cool like shack, abandoned shack.
Yeah.
And I blacked out. I actually blacked that out because there was some sun coming through it. You can actually kind of see the brush strokes. God damn it. Okay. Anyways, so then in the second photo, when I took it into Photoshop, I added little glowing eyes.
Inside the shack.
Like there was like animals or something in there.
Yeah. It's really cool.
And when you see it,
Looks like there's some weird little demons.
keep an
or
eye
something.
out. Demons. The demons.
Maybe.
The
Who knows?
demons. And then here's
They're
this.
gonna
I
get
took
shot.
of my car.
Nice.
Car.
Cars.
And then my favorite
Yeah.
is my little dude right here.
What is it?
It's a squirrel.
Is it a squirrel? I couldn't tell. If it looked, I don't know. It's tiny and I have bad eyes.
It's a squirrel.
I didn't know if it was like a little prairie
So
dog or
cute.
like if you were super far away and it was a mountain lion. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. And then last but not least,
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Meh.
Little patriotic.
America.
and then that's the before and after one.
Oh, yeah. I saw that one. Yeah, it's cool.
So cool.
That place looked, like I said, it looked kind of creepy already.
Dude. Yeah, but like, you know what's funny is sometimes I edit things and I'm like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Like a good or bad?
Like a
whoa?
good whoa.
Okay.
Like, I'm like
that
fuck,
came out
dude.
cool. Yeah.
It's like two different shacks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, like, where did you come from, Juan? You know what I mean? Honestly, some of those edits are just like luck, dude. I just like start editing and I just go.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have an image and I go for it, and then other times, like that day, like this isn't like a shoot that like I did for somebody.
Yeah, you just
like,
get to
for
kind of
myself.
like do some shit.
So I was just kind of just playing with it and not even really expecting anything to come out good out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, what if I did this? Because the sky was blue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw, I turned it completely gray.
Yeah.
And then it ended up like working with
Yeah,
with
you
the
get to,
rest
like-
of the color changes.
I feel like a similar thing happens. I think it's just the mindset you go in when you're editing. Because like if I'm editing like a song for someone or something, like if I go in and I just start to go with my gut and just like follow the wherever it takes me, at the end of it, I usually like those songs, the edits on those songs more than I do if I'm like sitting there for hours, really surgically like trying to come up with ideas or like cut things that I don't want.
Right.
If I can just go in there with a clear head and just let
it's funny.
take over.
It's funny because I like talk to myself too, because like it's like a drastic change. It looks like two different shacks.
Yeah,
you know. So like when I got to the point where it was starting to look like this photo, like I remember just like being half asleep, you know, like fucking just doing it, and then like when I saw it going to where it is, I was like, wow. I was like, and then all of a sudden I was all excited and I was like, okay, and then I'm gonna fucking brush this and I'm gonna raise the clarity and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna fucking do this and it just worked out.
It's interesting how that works.
Yeah, and then I took out a water tank. Did you see that?
I mean, maybe,
so I
probably, but I didn't
completely took out the
really.
water tank from that before and after. So I'm gonna show you. Just look in this corner right over here. Water tank. No water tank.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, I love that song. Have you heard it? It's New Angels and Airwaves.
Oh yeah. I haven't heard their whole new. Did they do a new album or just a new single?
They're gonna release an album, but that's just a single.
That's
for
the
right
first
now.
single that they did, right? Yeah. Okay, I've heard that one.
Shoe fits my little Cinderella.
I didn't think he was gonna make more music,
dude. I didn't think so either, and then
because he's kind of gone off the deep end of the alien thing.
Exactly, but
which I think is cool.
I mean, I guess, but like
he's doing what he wants.
You know how I found out though?
Like how you found out about the single, or that he does
about the
aliens?
single that he's doing more music.
No, how did you find out?
So my favorite YouTuber, who is a photographer and videographer, his name is Peter McKinnon.
Oh, he's amazing.
He's great.
He's amazing.
He's awesome.
I'll have to go look.
He's awesome.
He's a god.
I showed it to her, and then I was
we
like,
sat there for like an hour.
Yeah,
just scrolling through stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
You can. His photography is really good, but his videos are awesome. And he was doing a documentary on Angels and Airwaves.
Ah, cool.
That's how I found out. I was like, Angel. Was this like fucking like 10 years ago
or
what?
I haven't heard from him in a long time.
And then they're like, yeah, we're releasing our new single this Friday.
Yeah,
and I was
crazy.
Like, okay, on my way.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think either Tom or whatever record label they're on, or someone posted it to Instagram that they were putting out a single, and I was just like, or it's like singles just got released, and I was like, what the hell? So I went and did a little deep dive on Apple Music and found it. But no, have you seen his podcast episode that he did on Joe Rogan?
Tom DeLonge?
Yeah, it's pretty intense. It's all of Rogan's podcasts like an hour and a half at least or so.
2 or 3 hours actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's some that are shorter, but like did you see he just had Bernie Sanders on?
Really?
Yeah, he's had Andrew Yang on now, and he's had Bernie Sanders. He's like getting all the presidential candidates on there. It's crazy, like how much he's blown up. But
did you see that there's a petition saying that Joe Rogan should be the mediator for the presidential elections?
Really? That would be cool. Like for the debates, that would be really cool because he's a really, really good host. Like
he is.
He asks good questions, and the thing is though about those debates, like everyone keeps at least so like Yang was on his podcast, and then he was on H3's podcast. Bernie Sanders was on Joe Rogan. Yang was on the Ben Shapiro show. On all of them, it's always been like there's a recurring theme where everyone keeps saying that the debates on like the Democratic national debate or the Republican debate or whatever, it's just a big TV show. Like it's a bit you get like 20 seconds or something to answer these crazy long-winded questions.
Yeah.
And it's like you've got 30 people up there, whatever the hell. There's no way that you're gonna get a good conversation or a good answer out of anyone. It's more for the show.
Right.
Like having them doing these long form interviews like this really lets you get to know the candidate more than those stupid debates.
Yeah. And Joe Rogan seems to be fairly neutral.
Yeah, he is.
So I think that'll be good.
What's weird is he gets pinged as a right-wing person by a lot of very, very far left, even though he's like pretty middle. But because of some of his views on sort of the...
drugs.
Well, not drugs make him more left, I think.
That's what I'm saying. Well, right-sided, but in my head, he would be more left.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But some of the super far left says that he's like alt-right adjacent is what he gets called. Yeah, because they like he has some like the sports and the trans community. He's he has some have his own opinions on that, and they disagree with him, so they lump him to the right side. Yeah, which is interesting that happens. I don't know how that, but whatever.
The thing with Joe Rogan is like on things like that is not. It's not that he's against it. It's more of like the morality of the fact of the things that people do. Like, for instance, like people giving their kids hormones to change their gender.
Right.
And I watched him get in a debate with Adam.
The guy from Adam Ruins Everything. Yeah, I've seen part of that episode. I haven't seen the entire thing.
So Joe Rogan's not against transgenders, but
no,
it's like,
not at all.
It's he doesn't like the fact that these are children getting dosed up with testosterone or estrogen just because, you know.
Well, like if you think about it, any other thing when you're 5 or when you're 12 or whatever, like you don't really know what you want. You don't know, like you don't know a lot of stuff at all at that age. You're a child. So like, and there's a reason that most things are like, you have to be 18 or you have to be 21 to drink. Like there's a reason that exists because you're starting to actually, you're an adult then and you can make your own decisions.
I mean, but people can say like, oh, I knew, like, let's say just like gay or straight in general. Like people will say, oh, I knew I was gay since I was like 6. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But you still gave yourself time to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like I have a friend.
What's crazy is when I was 6, I was not even thinking about having sex with a male or a female. Right. Like that was not even a thing in your head. Right. You know what I mean? Like
you hardly actually even know what sex is. Like just the other day, my one of the twins, my little brother, Kellen, he's going to be 5 in about 3 months. And literally just last night, a situation came up and he was like, oh, well, why don't girls have penises? Like he doesn't even know why girls don't have penises.
You're still learning.
Need to. That's not a thing in their heads.
Yeah.
They're worried about baseball and preschool and school. That's not a concern, and it shouldn't be. Right.
Because then you grow up so quickly and you lose your childhood. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's the same thing with even things like video games. They're rated like M for mature because kids should not be playing them yet. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I have a friend who's I consider a best friend, you know, and he's gay. He's like, he just came out of the closet. He's fucking 24 years old, dude. He just came out of the closet like a year or 2 ago. And he told me, and I was like, I want to say his name, Kevin. Kevin, I knew. I've known you since I was 12 years old, bro. Like, I've known.
Yeah.
Like, just with his mannerisms and his, like...
Right. Well, just, I don't know.
And not to say that everyone with feminine mannerisms are gay.
No.
But, like, I just knew. But then it was like...
Well, he's also your friend. You know what I mean? Like...
Right. But here's the thing is, like, he explored it and he got married to a woman. He was married to a woman for fucking, like, almost 10 years. You know? And that's the thing is, like, yeah, he was gay. But he wasn't like, oh, I'm 13 years old and I'm gay and that's like, and I'm gay. You know what I mean? And that's cool if that's how you want to do it.
Right.
But
I mean, power to you. I think you can do whatever you want as long as you're not infringing on anyone else's shit.
I agree.
Be who you want to be. Do what you want to do. Like, it's a free country. It's a free world. Like, be you.
Free country.
Yeah.
I think that should be something that's left for people to learn and experience on their own as they develop, though. Like, I don't think parents should be like, oh, you're 4, what gender are you? I'm allowing you to choose.
Right.
Like, they're 4, dude.
Yeah. They haven't thought about that
Let
really
them
yet.
explore. Like, I grew up in a very colorful environment around lesbians, trans. I have a gay uncle. All their friends were gay. And when I was 16, I went through a bi-curious phase. And I was like, well, I don't really know.
Yeah.
And, I tried it out and I was like, okay, it's definitely not something that just, whoa,
Right.
But that doesn't change the fact that, like, even when you're 18, 24, like, throughout your life, you can
things change,
develop, like,
I mean, I used to not like a certain food and now I like that food, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Your taste changes, what you like changes. I don't know. And I don't know. I feel like that it always gets argued that, like, sexuality is like a spectrum, right? Which I guess makes some sort of sense. I don't know. I'm not, like, super well knowledgeable about this.
Right.
So I'm kind of talking out of my ass. But I don't know. It's obviously we need to not, like, as a society, be super, like, judgmental about that sort of thing.
Right.
But also kind of let people make their own, like, decisions about it.
Yeah, I don't think it should be, like, something that should be forced upon.
No,
I just gotta
in any aspect.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those things where the conversation is getting. Damn it, Juan! Now you're doing it.
Right.
I don't know. I think the conversation, like, yes, it needs to happen to change kind of the way society functions, but also I feel like it's gonna, like anything else, get kind of blown up to a point where it's like now we're forcing people to do things and then you have to, like, dial it back. Like when I'm engineering a song and I add reverb to a snare drum, I add it to the point where I think it's good, and then it's like, okay, well, rule of thumb is I should back 10% off of this because it's going to be too much in the actual mix. So I think what's going to happen is it's going to get to a point, like with anything, it's going to be like, well, this is good. And it's like, okay, well, now we need to dial it back a little bit because this is too much. Just like the same thing, like with anything. Is that
like
way.
With my photos, if I, like, do something and I'm like, oh yeah, that looks cool. But then I got to think about, once I export, that file is going to be compressed.
Right.
So at that point, is that effect going to look just as cool as it does when it's a raw file on my computer? No. And there's been so many times where there was one where I was working with, like, purple smoke and I kind of changed the color to, like, make it, like, I changed the hue to make it, like,
to pop a little bit. Yeah.
And once I exported it, it looked like almost pink. And I was like,
because it changed it. Yeah.
Oh no, this is not what I did, you know? So then I had to go back, tone down that purple hue, and then when I exported again, it looked how I wanted it to look.
Right.
Or same thing with, like, clarity kind of, like, roughens up the skin and just, like, makes all the textures pop. But then once it gets, if you put too much, then it comes out, like, grainy or blurry.
There needs to be a happy medium.
Exactly.
Which you wouldn't think would be that hard to accomplish. But so many people, when they have an opinion, they're, like, so strongly withheld to it to the point where it's like, everyone else also has to kind of.
Yeah, it has to agree with your opinion on it.
Or at least hear it very, very, very loudly.
Yeah. Well, the current political climate really, like, entrenches people into their own ideas. Like, it gets, if you're left or you're right or you're in the middle or, like, wherever you are on the sort of your ideas
seems to be very divided.
Right. You start to dig your trench, and then when you get into a conversation or an argument with someone who's in a different trench, instead of, like, getting out and meeting in the middle and trying to talk about it, people just start digging their trenches deeper and get even more ingrained, and then, like, go to whatever it is.com that is a, they agree with the opinion of whatever it is, and they keep digging that trench so that you get so far down that you can't even see anyone else's point of view anymore. Right. You just see your own point of view. You don't want to have a discussion with anyone about something different, because if it's different from your point of view, then it's wrong. Or
even just to civilly agree to disagree.
Right.
Like, not everyone has to agree on everyone else's stuff, but there just seems to be no happy medium, or even just a civil, I see what you're saying and I understand it, but that's just not.
The conversation gets lost in the respectful conversation, because like people like to argue all the time, but it turns into just a shouting match, and then they start using ad hominem attacks at each other, and then it's like, well, you're not even talking about the issues anymore.
Yeah.
Like, and then we don't do anything, and we just, everything stays the same, and it gets worse.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's crazy. People are crazy.
Speaking of people are crazy.
Oh man. So
we're going to get into this.
Yeah. Juan sent me this video.
Hey, what's our time first?
We're at 44 minutes.
Okay.
So Juan sent me this video, and I just read the title of it, and then I ignored it for a little bit. and then I watched it right before we started this episode, and it's honestly like, I don't know.
It's cringy.
It's ludicrous.
It is. It's very crazy. Like, I get where these people are coming from, right? And like, society has been putting lots of people. Yes.
No.
Okay. We can agree to disagree on this. Okay. I see where their intent is, right?
What's their intent?
I think that it's so you don't want to be like feel judged for anything that you do, right? Even though I think judgment to a degree is healthy, because then
constructive criticism.
Exactly. Like, if I put out a terrible mix and then someone told me it sounded good, I'm not going to get better. I'm just going to think that it sounds good, rather than someone being like, dude, this sounds like shit. And then you feel like garbage, but then it motivates you to turn around and be like, all right, I need to do the next one better, right? So I think to some degree, judgment is good. Like,
yeah.
But I think that in this environment, what's happening is it's going so far, like we talked about already. It's gone so far to the point where it's like this. How is anyone supposed to even live in that environment?
It's all a spectrum.
So
they're very, very crazy at the end of it.
There's a difference, though, between telling people, hey, don't be so mean. Rather than don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the complete like extreme of this video. It's like, like, because you said, I get what they're coming from. You want people feelings get hurt, whatever. Like,
I think it's a good intention, like a good start, like where they're coming from, but it gets out of hand.
It's so far out of proportion.
Well, how are you even supposed to make like some of the stuff, like how are you supposed to like enforce some of this, right?
Right.
And now because of what, like, you're forcing everyone else around you to adapt to be able to make you feel safe or feel okay. And it's like, well, that's not how the world is.
Right.
Like, you can try to feel as safe as you want or whatever, but it's like when people worry too much about like getting in a plane or something. It's like, it can only be so safe because there still is a statistical probability that, like, there's a chance that plane's going to crash. When you get in your car every day, you can only be so safe before it's like things are just going to happen.
But
like,
do you know what the thing is, dude? Is like, people, okay, here's the thing. And this is going to sound out of context because we haven't played the video yet. But everybody needs to keep this in mind while listening to this video. Is everybody thinks that people are like this because they're because the millennials. I mean, the millennials are like that.
Yes.
But who is that coming from? The older generation. But if you really, really think about it, each generation gets easier and easier and easier on the next, because they don't want them, like the next generation, to live a life like they did.
Right.
You know what I mean? They want them to have a better life.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
But
like you take what your parents taught you and you take what they did right and what they did wrong and you try to do better for your kids.
Exactly.
Right?
And not to say that that's wrong, but at the same time, there could be somebody who had lived such a terrible life that this other person is going to be so fucking sheltered to the point where they're like this.
Right.
And then we have a whole room full of people who can't even fucking handle clapping.
Yes.
So let's not get into it right now.
No. But like, so I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, and I think it's a combination of, well, what always makes me laugh is when the generation behind us, who's older than us, complains about the millennial generation. And it's like, okay, well, who raised the millennial generation?
Exactly.
You did. You created this. Like, so now that you're going back and complaining on it, and like,
they're blaming
the millennials for it. It's like, okay, what? Like, I didn't put myself into T-ball and give myself participation trophies for years and years and years and have everyone on the planet tell me I'm a snowflake and an angel and then go into the world and think that I'm an angel and a snowflake. And then everyone's like, why could you think that? And it's like, well, you pounded it into their heads for 18 plus years.
There's a lot of blame on both parties, and I definitely agree that a lot of what makes a person is how they're raised. But at the same time, I feel like there's a certain age where you have to like take responsibility.
Oh, I agree.
And be like, okay, my mom told me this, and this since I've grown up. And like, you know, if I lived like that today, I would have the same political views as my mom. I do not, because I am an adult now. And I was like,
I agree. And I also think that I was watching H3 yesterday, I believe. I think it was on H3, where he said, you only know what you know. And he's like, that sounds simple and obvious at first, but it's like, if you really think about it, you only know what you know, because it's like, if you grew up with like split up parents, right? From like the time you were born until you start meeting other people whose parents are together. And then you're like, whoa, people's parents are still together. That's just not how life is for everyone. Like, you only know your own life experiences to an extent.
Is where I do agree with you. I feel like the biggest problem is that people are sheltering the next generation much that they don't have any motivation to go out and know more.
Okay, I agree with that for sure.
So it kind of goes hand in hand. And then when we're all sheltered, we're like, oh, well, my mom raised me like this, so it's her fault. And then the mom's like, oh, what the heck's wrong?
And also, like,
being
sheltered so much, like when you said the whole participation fucking trophy thing, like, nobody's parents are going to be like, you got last place. You know what I mean? They want their kids to feel good and like, oh yeah,
and happy, and
you got a participation trophy. And you know what? I was raised on tough love.
Yeah.
But even my parents didn't do that to me.
Yeah.
So what's funny is I was in 3rd grade, okay, and I entered the science fair. Didn't do well enough to fucking get anything, and they gave me a participation ribbon and a certificate and a congratulations and blah 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 and all this other bullshit. And I remember grabbing this ribbon and I was like, participation. And then my dad was like trying to talk to me about it, and I literally grabbed the ribbon and threw it in the trash.
Well, the thing is, those ribbons, like, they mean nothing, right? Like, I have from when I was in sports, when I was growing up, I had a bunch of just like trophies from like every year you do it, you get a trophy at the end of it. And then it just like, no matter what, even like when I was on the worst teams, we got still like a small little trophy or whatever. And it's like, I have no idea where most of those are, because they didn't mean much when I didn't like earn it, right? But then I've got over on the wall, I've got my sound engineering technical degree, and I've got my awards from band and shit, because I earned the shit out of those and I busted my ass to get them, and they mean something.
And like the funny part is like when I threw that shit in the trash, like even my dad was like, wow. Like
I would have been proud of you.
Yeah, like like he understands that he didn't.
Right.
Win.
You didn't
know
win
what I mean?
so you don't deserve it like that. Like,
I think that's when it comes to like the teaching the next generation. I think it's not so much the parents as school is the problem, because when you think about it,
I agree.
It's just like an adult at work.
You spend most of your time
there, and there's actually Schools nowadays are allegedly not even giving first or second place. They'll have a race and
crazy.
Everyone gets the same trophy. And I saw an interesting meme about that where the kid who won like last place got the same trophy as everyone else. And it had a little, it was a comic strip. So it had a little pop-out bubble. And the kid was like, oh, what I learned is that I can get the same as everyone else and not
work
try
for
as
it.
hard.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just like, damn, dude.
Yep. I mean, it's true.
Not
like,
okay. Bunch of sore losers is what.
Yeah,
what we're raising.
And if you look at like, there were definitely kids in my class when I was growing up where the parents got mad at the teachers when the kid came home with a bad grade, and my dad would always be like, "Yeah, that's not happening. It's not the teacher's fault. It's your fault for fucking up." Like, and then we would sit at the table. Like, I failed the first time I did college ready math or whatever the fuck it was called in high school. I failed the first time I tried it, and I had to do it again. And my dad and I sat at the table every single night, and he was trying to teach me how to do this math. And I hated it, but I appreciate him now for it because it helped me figure it out, and I ended up passing the class. But it wasn't the teacher's fault for not teaching me. It was my fault for not learning and studying hard enough. Yeah, I didn't study hard enough for it. And he's like, it's not easy. Like, you going to class is not enough.
Right.
Like, which some parents are like, kid comes home with an F and then they blame the teacher for it. And it's like, well, my kid should be passing. It's not my kid's fault that you can't teach. And it's like, it's your kid's fault that he doesn't know how to study and he's playing Call of Duty instead.
Right.
And it's your fault as a parent for not disciplining your kid. But
all right, let's play this video.
all right, okay, hang on. Let me get it up. That's what I was trying to avoid earlier.
He's gonna get it up, guys.
Oh,
Whoa, not like that.
John.
No, that's what he said. I was just repeating, reiterating.
So this clip is originally from, I don't know where it originated. The clip that we're looking at currently, though, it's edited for sure. Like, so I don't know what the rest of this video looks like in long format. It's probably several hours long.
Yeah.
But this edit, and I went and looked and saw who runs this channel. So, and it's a right-wing person. So I was like, it could be edited in a way to make it look terrible, worse than it is, right? Because that's another thing I have about schools. Like, if you, like, doing a research paper should teach you how to do your research. And people don't like to look up sources. And it's like, there's a reason when you do a paper, you have to have like 20 sources.
Yeah.
And if you have one fact that is disagreed with by, like, one source says it this way and 19 other ones say it different, then that one is probably wrong. Like, but this is originally, the video that we have is from the DC Shorts on YouTube, which is a channel it says founded by Tucker Carlson.
Okay.
So he's right wing. Tucker Carlson.
Tucker?
He's a conservative political commentator who's hosted, he's on Fox News.
Okay.
So that's who this channel supposedly is run by or founded by or whatever. So it's definitely got a biased lens over it.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, this is what it is. Let me just start the video and you see kind of.
Guys, first of all, James Jackson, Sacramento, he, him. I just want to say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on. It's making it very difficult for me to focus. Please, can we I know we're all fresh and ready to go, but can we please just keep the chatter to a minimum? It's affecting my ability to focus. Thank you.
So I have less of a problem with the he, him thing than I do with what his point is. Like, I don't know, in the idea that we want, like, if the whole thing with that is like, you can be whatever you want, but if I accidentally call you he and you identify as she and you didn't, like, I didn't know that, it's like, how can you blame someone else for not knowing that? So I get that he's like, I'm he, him. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, cool. So I'm going to call you, because like, if you tell me to call you something that's how you identify, cool. I don't care. Like, but also don't expect me to immediately know that either.
Yeah, we're not mind readers.
Yeah, I have no idea what is going on in your head. So
Also,
that I don't really, whatever. But
one thing I want to touch base on, you said something about the clapping. Actually, because when you played this beforehand, I didn't really like hear all of it. I wasn't actively listening. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people with autism do actually have sensory overload.
Right.
I don't know if this guy has that.
Attention deficit disorder.
Mm-hmm.
He said I don't think he said that was the.
It said attention deficit disorder.
No, I know, but he said he has sensory overload.
Oh, because he's being a pussy little bitch.
That could be it. He could
So
just be.
He's making it sound
here's that
worse
clip
than
again.
it is.
Quick point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Guys.
That's also, they keep calling them personal privileges, and it's not a personal privilege. You're making everyone else do something for your own sanity or for your own thing. So it's not like you're not privileged to have everyone else obey these things that is going to make you feel better.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if that's just me.
I shouldn't have to introduce myself as a she, her.
Right.
Because of
just because
whatever is
she's
going
a
on in the
female.
world.
Right.
I am a woman.
Now, here's the thing. And if I say, how is somebody gonna get mad if I don't say he, him, when I know for a fact that I'm a he?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Why should I say, hi, my name's Juan, he, him?
Mm-hmm.
No. You don't need to know.
No, yeah, and that's the other thing.
My name is Juan, she, her.
Right.
Like I'm a fucking female. But
yeah,
at the same time, if I wanted you to know, you would know.
Right. I feel like there's that. And also it's that's definitely a personal thing. And I feel like it's not necessary all the time.
It's a personal
you know what I mean?
Because if somebody doesn't fucking say it, somebody freaks out.
Well, also,
no, I know. Well, no, what I'm saying
they're kind
is
forcing everybody in this whole
no, I agree.
thing.
But what I'm saying is, I think that in itself, saying what gender you identify as is a personal thing. And if you want, let's say you identified as she, if you wanted me to call you that, you would tell me. But if you didn't want anyone to call you that and you were fine going by he, then you would just keep it to yourself. Or whatever. I don't know. But I feel that,
dude, is that
just like with anything else,
is completely out of context, bro.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna go up and give a speech.
Oh yeah.
I don't need to be like, hi, my name is Juan. I used to be a girl and I'm a man.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just have to give, because I feel like that's less about. It takes away from what you're trying to say, because you're having to delve time into that rather than just going up and making points.
But that is what every single person in this video is making everything about them.
No, yeah, it completely is.
And they're not even they're not even getting to anything.
They're not getting to the issues that they're trying to discuss. And I mean, like I said, this is an edited version, so they might have.
Right.
But
but just the fact that oh, by the way, before we talk about this, I can't, you need to be quiet because I have ADD and I have sensory overload.
Right.
And they're making it about them and they're making it sound so much worse than it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
If he was autistic, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally fine. But then at the same time, if he was autistic, he would probably be there and everybody would already know.
Mm-hmm.
We have an autistic person. This is what's going to happen.
Right.
That's true.
He would probably, or he or she, okay.
Well, he said
probably
he,
him. Will probably be there with somebody to make sure that he is okay.
Right.
Now this guy is functioning properly on his own without a doctor or a nurse or somebody taking care of him.
What makes me you see a lot of autistic people who have to wear the headphones and things like that to kind of block sound out.
Yeah.
And it's
instead of doing anything preventative himself, he was just
yes, exactly. And I get that it's some people could see that as well, he shouldn't have to live with that or whatever. It's well, guess what? My eyes are shaped weird, so I can't see very well. And instead of telling everyone else to describe what things look like.
Yeah.
I have contact lenses in, so I can see better.
All the drivers need to get off the fucking road.
All the drivers need to get off the road when I drive.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah. All the drivers, there can't be any other cars on the road when I drive because I can't see very well.
Exactly.
And instead of doing that, I have corrective vision. I have
because it's a
glasses,
personal problem.
And I have to pay for those.
Yeah.
It's they had to pay for those headphones, whatever, that help them so they don't, with their sensory overload. I have to pay an insurmountable amount of money every year just to be able to see that someone with 20/20 vision doesn't have to worry about.
Right.
I have to do that every single year. And it's it kind of sucks, but that just how
It's
I was
life.
born. Like,
Yeah.
shit kind of sucks sometimes.
And if he was autistic, and he's not, because he clearly said he has attention deficit disorder, which is not a big deal.
Well, you didn't send me that video, so
Okay, but
what
anyways,
I have been able to know is just
right. But
Right.
like, if you are saying people with autism have sensory overload, that makes sense. And not to say, because I said, usually autistic people have
the thing is,
somebody
he might
there
have
with them.
multiple things. I don't know.
No, but anyways, but I'm not saying that like people with autism can't like make a choice to be up there by themselves or whatever. But
No, yeah.
at the same time, it's very rare that you would see somebody with severe autism to the point where you have sensory overload that's
That you
that
can't-
Going
bad,
and speaking in
Yeah.
front of everybody.
and going up and speaking in front of everybody
Without
without.
without an aid or something. Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Okay, play this again so Julia can hear it.
Okay. Sorry, it's loading.
Guys, first of all, James Jackson, Sacramento, he, him. I just want to say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the
Sacramento.
people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on. It's making it very difficult for me to focus. Please, can we just, I know we're all fresh and ready to go, but can we please just keep the chatter to a minimum? It's affecting my ability to focus. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
comrade.
so
He
I
didn't
I know it's attention deficit disorder because he says it later.
Oh, okay.
Says it.
See.
Okay, but
Go ahead.
keep playing it.
Okay. Well, what I was gonna say is he's in a room right now because no one's seeing this right now. I don't know. Our
go
listeners
ahead.
may or may not have seen this video.
Yeah, go ahead.
But he's currently in like a lecture hall, and there's probably at least 200 or 300 people in there, right? If not more, maybe thousands or 1,000 people,
Yeah.
right?
But from what we can see,
Picture putting that many people into a room and making everyone stay still.
in silent.
Not
no one,
clap.
no clapping, no moving like papers around.
No whispering.
Because
like,
of my sensory overload.
Even just the three of us in here, like us turning, like this chair makes a little squeak.
Yeah.
Like what you put that many people into a room, it's going to be nearly impossible to make sure that there's no noise.
right,
Because humans make noise.
right.
So unless everyone is sitting there just like not
Mm-hmm.
doing anything, but then how are you preparing for when you're going up to talk or whatever? You people are writing notes. There's things shuffling around.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying not even like the whispering and stuff to each other. And it's like, well, are we here to have a discussion or are we not?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
I'll keep playing it.
Okay, is there a speaker against name, chapter, pronouns?
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not
Point of
He just
personal
interrupted the
privilege.
shit out of that lady.
Yep.
That was rude.
use gendered language to address everyone.
So it was basically
Point of
saying,
privilege once again.
don't call us guys. Don't say
Yeah, don't say,
guys.
"Hey, guys."
Like, hey guys. I'm sorry. Hey guys has been around since the beginning of fucking
Not just
time,
that,
dude. You know what I mean? You generalize.
Yeah.
I
It's
say
a generalization.
dude all the time. I say dude all the time, and like, I
Damn it, Juan. Again?
Can-
Get rid of that can.
I can only imagine.
It's under your couch now.
Maybe it'll prop the thing up.
I can only imagine the day that I, generally speaking, say dude, and someone's like,
Very angry.
"Oh my god, I can't believe you just blah 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 blah." I'm like, "All right, dude." Like,
Yeah.
I
don't
hope
know.
that never happens. I
Well,
would
and the thing is,
have
like,
lost
that-
all hope.
That sort of comes out as not like it's not even a thing where you're thinking about genderizing someone when you're like, hey guys, like you're just like it's like hello everyone who's in the room.
Right.
You know? Like you're not even thinking about genderizing someone there.
Right.
And I feel like this is a very fringe edge of the political spectrum there. But it's been, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? The loudest people are the ones who get the most attention, right? So I think it's the same with like the alt-right, whatever. You can almost call this the alt-left. Like either side of them is the smallest amount of people total, but they're the loudest in the conversation right now.
Right.
Because their stuff is just ludicrous.
Well, yeah, and everyone, I mean, they're
It's
on
just so
tons of different
extreme.
like things like what we're doing right now. We're bringing it up and talking about it because it is so extreme, but tons of these things are happening where we're talking about it, someone else is talking about it. So everyone's hearing about it because humans like things that are interesting.
Yep. Continue, guys.
And the middle is not very interesting.
And quick point of privilege once again. Hi, James Jackson, Sacramento
This is
DSA, he, him. I have already asked people to be mindful of the chatter of their comrades who are sensitive to sensory overload, and that goes double for the heckling and the hissing. It is also triggering to my anxiety. Like, the be comradely isn't just for, like, you know, let's keep things civil or whatever. It's so that people aren't gonna get triggered, and so that it doesn't affect their performance as a delegate, okay? Your need to express yourself is important, but your need to express yourself should not trump or over, like...
I see that no one's clapping for me. It could be because I'm not...
I feel like he basically said that your need to express yourself is less important than everyone else's.
Well,
by being a normal person.
It's circular reasoning, kind of. He's like, your need to express yourself is important, but it's not as important as everyone else's need to be able to feel safe. So, like, it's... Or
shuffling
not
papers
feel safe,
doesn't
but
make
like
me feel endangered.
It's...
Though.
Well, the thing is that word safe gets used to describe anything that's like
triggering.
Triggering.
People are too sensitive.
Well, what's crazy is like the words that they're using for this are definitely the autistic spectrum words. Like when they're like, "Oh, that's triggered" or whatever. Like that is something that is generally used when, you know, you're dealing with autism, because you're like that person has these triggers or whatever they could be. Same with like. Epilepsy could be triggered, some forms of it, by like flashing lights or whatever it is. And it's, I don't know.
But you can't take a general issue, a personal issue, like anxiety. It's kind of like a gray area, because anxiety can get really bad.
Yeah.
But you can't take that, which is something that people deal with on a daily fucking basis.
Yeah.
And compare it, which they're not specifically comparing it, but by using the same language as somebody with like a mental disorder.
Well, you could argue anxiety is a mental disorder as well.
Well, you can argue that,
but it should never be to the
extreme
that you're telling a crowd of hundreds of people not to clap or whisper or do anything because you have this and it's giving you anxiety. Like if you're that sensitive,
don't go.
Exactly.
But then you're suppressing my voice.
Well, then suck a dick.
Well, we live in a very technological world.
No, yeah, I mean, we weren't there. We weren't there, and we're watching it now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I get the anxiety could be a mental disorder thing.
If you're
but also it's like figure out ways to deal with it rather than making the same thing with like my corrective lenses, right? Maybe you need to go see go to therapy or something, or like
get some Valium.
As someone who suffers from anxiety and depression,
my friend suffers from anxiety, and she has
figured out an outlet where I write music, right? And I deal with all of my issues by diving into music and writing or playing shows or whatever it is, and that helps, and that's one of the reasons I love it, right?
Let me just say though, but
regardless of what it is, figure out a way to deal with it. Yeah,
yes.
like
personally.
Yeah, instead of making everyone else conform to your way that you want to, you know, because then you're infringing on everyone else's ability to do what they want, right? That's
I don't want to
circular.
wear contacts; they're itchy, but I have to, or else I will drive and kill everyone.
Exactly.
But if your anxiety is is that bad? Honestly, I've had anxiety before.
I have too.
Yeah. A lot of people have.
Not to the point where I don't want people to fucking make noise around me. But if your anxiety is that bad, then you probably most likely wouldn't be there.
Right.
You wouldn't be able to get yourself to go and be in front of a crowd of 200 to 1,000 people.
And you
from
probably
what we
would have tried multiple different outlets to help yourself.
And you wouldn't be trying so hard to express your voice and express the fact that you have anxiety.
Yeah.
If you have anxiety, you wouldn't even want to get up there and say anything at all.
Yeah, and you definitely wouldn't want to admit to having anxiety. That's not something people with actual anxiety toss around.
Right. And that's the thing, like we've all here gone through anxiety like battles, right? And it's like when you're not in it, like you're fine and you can talk about it, but like when you're in it, like you don't want to leave your bed. Like you feel like garbage and you just want to lay there and you don't want to talk to anybody, and because everything is
closes
triggering.
in on you.
But yeah, no, it definitely closes in on you. And then once you kind of come out of the other end of it, you're like, okay, like, I can be a normal person again for a little bit. Like,
continue.
Yeah.
Let it play a little bit.
This guy looks like he's in charge of something. Who's talking now? This next guy, because he's got like that badge on or something, and he's kind of like addressing everyone. Like he looks like he's like laying down rules or something. You know what I mean?
Engaging, but it also is because everyone's doing this, and that's really important because those.
He's putting his hands in the air, talking about clapping for everyone who's not watching.
So don't
this.
clap.
Everyone
put your
doing
hands up.
this.
It almost looks like jazz hands, but straight up in the air to agree with it, right?
Instead of clapping.
Instead of clapping or like jazz shows, people like snap or whatever. This is like the ultimate, like no noise, just doing this. But then my counter to that is how are people who have like visually triggered anxiety not going to freak out because of the hands in the air?
Oh, that's
so much extra movement.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're really going to dive that deep.
Yeah.
Loud bursts of noise, even though this is a noisy space, when we can do something like reducing that, that's really important. So please don't clap, shoot up these. We have a lot of disabled comrades, and a lot of those are invisible disabilities.
They keep using the word comrade because it's almost, I think it's like some sort of socialist convention almost, like bridging that, which is just strange to hear that sort of language coming back. It's very Russia.
I like how he said invisible disabilities.
Yeah, so things that people suffer from that you don't see.
Like
anxiety.
Like anxiety.
Well,
you couldn't know that you have anxiety, so I have to treat you as if you might have anxiety.
I get that, but like even people with medically diagnosed severe depression, anxiety, et cetera, they don't act that sensitive, and they don't just shout.
A lot of the times, yeah.
Like typically someone with depression or anxiety, if they're going to go out into the big, beautiful, crazy, noisy world, they're not going to stand on the tallest mountain and shout on the top of the world
I have depression.
for everyone to shut the fuck up because they have anxiety.
Right.
They're going to go back home if it gets overwhelming and deal with it personally. At least I would think.
Well, and that's one of the, I don't know, it's just crazy trying to get like the entire world to basically like bow to how you're feeling.
And I mean, on the other side of the spectrum, like I definitely think that we should be aware that people do suffer from anxiety and depression and et cetera. But I don't think that it should be so drastic to the point where everyone else's lives is impacted.
Well, basically what they're saying is treat everyone as if they have every sort of mental disability,
and will be
every sort of
anything.
everything. Yeah, so it's like, what are we even supposed to do now? Because if I'm treating everyone, if they have these invisible like handicaps, right? Then how am I supposed to, like, now you're infringing on my right to do anything because I'm trying so hard to please everyone on the planet. Like,
it's like that Super Mario meme, and it's like trying not to offend people in 2019. You're just kind of bouncing around. Oh, I'm about to go introduce myself. Should I shake their hand? Should I not? Do I call them this, that, or the other? Like, right. If it's like walking on eggshells.
Always, yeah. It's like you're always walking on eggshells with everyone.
No one should feel like that. Like,
no, yeah. Because then that creates anxiety in me.
In us, yeah. I am triggered by that itself.
By having to walk around and not know.
It's like walking on eggshells.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Good.
Don't know who it is that is having a more difficult time navigating this space, and this space was not created with all of their needs in mind. So it's up to us to modify that space to make sure that everybody is able to move in the ways that they need to move. And additionally, with the noise issue, like avoid hissing, avoid waving banners, right? Because there's all sorts of things. If you don't know what to do, show up these, right?
Waving he just banners, said to avoid waving banners, and then says, "Shake your hands in the air."
Shake your hands. That's the same, pretty much the same thing.
Banners are paper that ruffle.
I guess. I don't know.
This kind of doesn't really create sound
until
you put your hands down.
Well, I think the banner thing is less about the sound and more about a big flag or something waving around. Right. Like that's what I see when I hear banners, like someone with a flag.
I think of like a paper.
Oh, I guess, yeah, banner. like something you'd see at like a football game.
Like a poster type ordeal.
And I'm sure there's lots of ways that we can communicate to each other without needing to rely on something that's going to hurt somebody else. We have quiet rooms that are available. There's a range of options of these, right? Please don't go into that space with anything that's like an aggressive scent, for instance, right? Because we don't want to put people in stressful situations that they don't consider.
Or even delving into smells. An aggressive scent.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't wear cologne. Can't wear perfume. You can't have any hair gel that has a scent. You can't wear lotion.
The thing is, even you without all of that, now you have a different scent.
You have a natural scent, a natural musk. But okay, I'll admit.
Like if I haven't showered today, I would smell pretty rank.
Pretty rank. I would smell pretty rank. It's fucking Arizona.
Well, but even if you did shower, and let's say like, I don't know if you've ever run out of deodorant, and then you have to go get it that day. Right? That day that you didn't put deodorant on in the morning, even if you showered, you still like within a couple hours, you're like, I can smell myself right now. Like you are always going to put off like some sort of scent, no matter what it is.
And we all know that old man that walks by and put way too much Axe body spray trying to be old. But even we deal with that. Like to tell me that my shampoo and my body wash is
too
aggressive.
Yeah.
And you're offended and triggered? Are you psychotic? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
and the thing is like, okay, maybe they don't mean anything that minor, but it's gonna get to a point where people are gonna be thinking, I'm in this quiet room. Let's make sure that there's nothing that smells. That's gonna, you know what I mean? People are gonna have that on their mind because saying
now that it's completely silent, I only have this many other senses to focus on.
Right. Also now they're saying, hey, don't bring any aggressive scents into this quiet room. And now people are gonna be like, oh, this person smells like this, and they're breaking the rules. Get them out of here. You know what I mean? They're gonna be looking for that shit because now it's a rule that you can't smell a certain way.
Yeah,
you know. Go ahead.
Sent to right, and there are right-wing infiltrators who are trying to get in here, but it's going to be really traumatic for people if we're not making an affirmative effort to de-escalate each other and de-escalate ourselves, right? Take a deep breath. Does that feel better? Before you say anything. Don't really talk to anybody who doesn't have a credential, especially if they claim to be from the press. You have no idea who that person is. Please do not talk to anybody who identifies themselves as a member of the press.
That's super culty.
You should let
Don't talk to anybody from the press. Don't let them know anything about what we're doing in here.
And
that's very cult.
Let it roll.
Oh no, I will. I'm just saying that's super culty.
Yeah, that's weird.
And it's gonna get worse.
Some Jim Jones.
It gets way worse.
Without having credentials.
Also,
don't talk to cops.
Oh my God!
Wait,
no.
Oh.
He says, "Don't talk to cops or MAGA assholes."
Or MAGA assholes.
Keep playing it.
We're almost there. Just
everyone got offended from the woos.
We are going to be visited tomorrow.
They're wooing it, not talking to cops.
Some MAGA protesters. Is there anybody here who's done abortion clinic escort work? By all means, don't talk to cops if there are cops there for any reason at all, right? And if you do see someone talking to cops, let the marshals know.
Okay.
Excuse me?
If you see somebody talking to cops, let our
own personal security cops know.
Yeah, and
no one's allowed to talk to the police
under any circumstance. He said, under any circumstance. That is just insane.
What are you gonna do?
We all know that there is this huge tension between cops and police brutality and et cetera, but like realistically, not all doctors are bad, not all cops are bad, not all, I mean, you can't just judge people based on their profession,
right?
And I think it's ridiculous to ask a group of people not to speak to the people who are potentially here to protect us.
They're supposed to be there to protect and serve.
Exactly.
That's the cop's job.
And to tell someone not to speak to the cops under any circumstance.
Well, and like I've had my own personal run-ins with cops, whatever. I I don't know. There's bands that I listen to that are very anti-police, whatever. But there are good cops out there. Not every cop is terrible.
And
like,
realistically, whether you're anti-police
most
or whatever,
of them are not terrible.
Most of them are not terrible. And generally
most of them
speaking,
are good.
If there's an actual emergency, I don't care if you're kind of against cops, you're going to call 911.
You're going to need a cop, yeah.
You're going to call
that's what they're there for
help,
yes.
one way or another. And
well, it's very hypocritical and like it's a double standard almost to be like, don't judge anyone in this building for anything, and then to go, don't talk to cops because they're all terrible, and don't talk to MAGA assholes, don't talk to the press. And it's like, I agree. Most people who have America Great Again hat on are probably kind of douchey, but still, to just be like, don't talk to them ever. It's like, well, that's still a person, and that's what's entrenching people deeper onto their side because they can't have a conversation with the other side.
And it does seem very culty that they have all their rules. Don't judge people, make everyone feel safe, but don't talk to cops.
Don't talk to the outside world at all.
We have our own security that you can trust.
Yes, our own marshals, and it's don't talk to the outside world at all. The press, the cops, nobody.
If someone tried to tell me to live my life like that, I would probably freak out and I would run for the hills.
I watched this video the other day, and it was a video of a cop trying to detain somebody on the ground, and the security guard from the place that the person was being detained from, the security guard, the cop was asking for help. He was by himself.
Yeah.
And they showed in the security guard contract stating
you're supposed to help the police.
You're supposed to help the police when requested. So
well, that's kind of your job. You're like half police almost. You're security. That's what you do.
So I've worked as security in San Diego, and we worked very closely with the police.
Yeah.
So the cop was literally struggling trying to detain this person and is asking for help from the security guard. And the security guard was too busy fucking pulling his phone out and recording the cop holding this guy down
to help him
rather than helping him and doing his job.
Yeah.
At my job, we weren't even allowed to have phones either, but that was probably because we were armed.
Yeah.
So
everybody just automatically thinks that cops are bad, and the first thing they need to do is pull out their phones and start recording on how fucked up this shit is going to be, or how he's treating this person. Like, they're not showing what this person did to fucking get
I agree.
It's
definitely edited in a way, and like granted, this video is spliced together, but it's whatever. Like,
it doesn't change the fact that it's pretty clear some of the things that they're saying.
But in some of those videos, it is pretty heavily edited to make it look like the cops are being, it's an abuse of power, whatever it might be. There is not enough context a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And like the whole thing with cops, like I said, I've had run-ins with cops that I didn't really necessarily like. And then I've also had, like, when I used to work at my retail job, I got several $1,000s in merch stolen from me, and then the guy on his way out flashed a gun in his hip at me, and then I was like, cool, you just committed armed robbery in my store, and now I have to call the police, and this was supposed to just be a Tuesday morning, and then I had to give a full statement to the police, and we sold things that were kind of higher priced, so we definitely got people trying to steal from us a lot. So I ended up making friends with the cops who always would come out to our store or whatever.
Right.
Couple hours later, that cop walks in with 2 of my guitars, and he's like, "These look familiar?" And I was like, "Fucking yeah, man, thanks. Like, you just saved me $2,000 worth of shrink or whatever."
Yeah.
Like,
and the other thing I think a lot of people forget is that some people are assholes, and some people actually are really bad people.
Yes,
and you can't control or automatically know. They could be a musician. They could be a cop. They could be in the military. They could be a doctor. They could be a teacher. There's fucked upness all around, but you can't just... I feel like the problem today is so many people only focus on the negative, and that's why everyone is so triggered and sensitive, because they can't
that's what you see in the news most of the time. You see the negative stories most of the time in the news.
Yeah.
And it's like, it makes the world seem terrible. And it's like, there's
really
a lot of good shit going on in the world. Like,
Well, and that's why
we've had so many advancements with our lives, like
so
many technological advancements,
medical advancements.
Like I don't know, and it seems like things just are getting more like there's a lot of dissonance between everyone, and there's this rift that no one wants to like try to bridge anymore. You know what I mean? And it's like we can't just sit here and scream at each other from opposite sides.
Over practically
We've got to figure out how to meet in the middle.
Not
and
saying
like
that these topics aren't important, but like it really should not be this hard to come to some type of
agreement
or at least civil term. I mean, and that's why I hate when people come up and they're like, oh my God, like the world is so bad. I don't know what happened to society. Like, are you kidding me, dude? Roman times? That shit was fucked up.
Even less than 100 years ago.
Medieval torture bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, are you seriously trying to tell me that society
is worse
than it's ever been?
Well, not even 100 years ago, or like, a couple hundred years ago, women couldn't vote in this
Public
country.
Hangings, the same witch trials.
We had slavery in this country.
Yeah.
Like society is definitely not that bad. I mean, things are still bad. Yeah, we still have a lot of problems we have to fix, right? The world is not a big,
It's not perfect.
It's not perfect, but it's definitely better than it's ever been. And we're probably going to live longer than any other generation of humans has before us. It's just like things are definitely getting better. And I don't know. I feel like people are getting
confuses me.
Same, yeah.
And and that might be the reason, because society, like I feel like it, and I'm guilty of this too. Obviously not to this extreme, but like people have a tendency when there's like nothing else to do to like complain and focus on the bad things. And it takes a lot of energy for most of us to focus on the good and stay positive.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why shit like this is happening, is because there's not
things are getting better.
Yeah.
There's less to complain
there's
about.
less to complain about. So they're complaining about
smaller
dumb
things.
shit.
But it's one thing to complain about the bad things that are happening to you. It's another thing to complain about the bad things that are happening to you, but trying to
force everyone else to fix it.
Everybody else to fix it.
Well, I get that, but
and stepping ahead and throwing the ball so far ahead and being like,
well,
"Oh, you haven't done this yet, but just so you know, don't fucking look at me." You know, like, don't take off your left shoe and fucking throw a quarter in it. So
what's interesting is there's this theory that says that society needs an enemy to function.
I can totally see that. I don't personally feel that way.
No. Well, it's like ever since like humans, like you think when we first evolved into humans, we had tribes, right? And society developed off of the like, we have to group together because the other tribe over there will come steal our shit and murder and rape us. And ever since then, we still have this tribal mindset where you have your tribe and everyone else is against you.
And not a lot of people are not okay with fitting in with a tribe. And that's my thing. Like, my thing is, you can believe...
Take off your left shoe.
You can believe in whatever you want to believe in. If you want to take off your left shoe and throw a quarter in it, go for it. If you want to identify as a fucking pigeon, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it gets
go
crazy,
off and live your life and do what makes you happy. But don't try to force me. If I want to take off my right shoe and put a penny in it, don't.
I'm triggered.
Like and I don't get why that's so hard for people to just like what we were talking about in the beginning. If I come up to you and I don't even know you and I'm like, oh yeah, that was his. You know, don't automatically get offended and be like, excuse me. I identify as blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. And it's not.
What's worse is not John being like, excuse me, no, I'm a she. It's like, it'd be worse if it was me saying, excuse me, you don't know what he identifies as. That's even worse. And that's
when
what people are
offended
doing.
For other people.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But like, I've also had instances.
Well, and the thing is, like, it's not your job to know when you come up and say something
It's
to
not
me.
my job, and I'm not a
And
psychic.
no one, and if I didn't identify as what I appear to be, I shouldn't expect anyone else to immediately know
But
that.
it's gonna be so exhausting just to fucking keep that in mind, like to have
Which
to be
is why
like
we
he,
shouldn't
him,
have to keep that
she,
in
her.
mind.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's only been one instance, and
it's exhausting to keep it in mind. Sorry, go ahead.
no, it's okay. Bless their soul, but I did have one instance where I referred to someone as a he, and they didn't say anything. They just accepted it, and then they came up to me after the activity that we were doing, and they were like, "Hey, just to let you know, it's totally cool. Like, I'm not offended. You couldn't have possibly known.
Yeah.
But I am."
Right. Identify as she.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, okay, like, I'm so sorry. And they're like, no, like, there's no way you could have known. Like, look at me. And they kind of laughed. And I was like, they walked away and I didn't think about it. And then I was like, damn, like.
See, yeah. And I feel like that's how most of those interactions go.
Yeah, like why
we
can't
only
people just
see
do
the
that?
ones on YouTube that are people screaming and going crazy. We don't see most of the normal interactions like that where it's like, I'm sorry.
Every other interaction I've had have been the screaming where they get all pissed off.
See, and I've never had an interaction where someone's gotten mad at me and screamed at me like that. Actually, I've had, because I've definitely misgendered people on accident before, and I've definitely apologized, and then they've acted just like that woman, I guess, because they identify as she. So as they've responded in that way almost every single time has always been like, you had no idea.
One of my best friends is she, but a lesbian and fucking dresses. This is the one I said before, like some people have mistaken us for each other because she dresses like a dude. She looks like a dude. And all the time, dude, like anytime we go anywhere together, somebody will be like, oh, yes, sir, like to her. And she doesn't say anything. And then, like, how bad would it be? I would be like, excuse me.
That's a she.
She's a she.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean? But it's just like, I don't know. I think it's
and
funny.
that could have possibly offended her because she clearly wants to look that way. Maybe she doesn't identify as a man, but she wants to look masculine, and that's great. But if you were to be like, "Excuse me,"
well, it's you're
she
stepping
could
in.
get offended towards me.
Yeah. Well, and it's her. I guess it's her choice. Yeah, her prerogative to be like, you know, if she doesn't want to bring it up, then she doesn't bring it up. It's not someone else's choice to be like, no, excuse me, this other person here isn't going to tell you themselves, but I have to tell them. I have to tell you for them, because then you're just putting them off into like they can't speak by themselves. Like you have to speak for them, which is demeaning in its own way.
Also, if it's just not everyone else's business. It's not everyone else's business.
Right.
If you have a problem with something that someone says to you, you should address it in a civil, private manner. Yeah.
And not blow it up. I don't know.
It's my prerogative.
I feel like the only thing that like you can really do, or like we can really do, is just like, if you are nice to people and you just like as you know, unless they're a dick, then, you know, I'm not gonna be super nice to you if you're an asshole to me. I'm probably gonna be a little angry.
What's the golden rule, John?
Treat others how you want to be treated. Exactly.
But no one lives by that fucking rule. It's all about treat me the way I want to be treated, and I'm going to treat you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and you know, there's tons of inspirational quotes, and like, you know, the be the change you want to see in the world, and that kind of stuff, which rings true to a degree. Obviously, you know, if you want to the think locally, act globally thing, like they're all super cheesy sayings, but like if you do that, I feel like that's really all you can do. You know what I mean? Like you just have to try your best to be a good person, and like maybe inspire other people to be good. It's that, you know, effect where like you help someone and then they might help someone else. But it's like you can't change everything.
This guy that we're listening to probably thinks that he's living by those things in his mind,
I agree.
In his words and not going to say offensive
his words of wisdom.
Yeah. Like he could think that he's being the good change that he wants to see in the world.
Okay, so Juan is giving me pointing at the time. It is, we've been talking for a minute. So I guess we'll cut it here. We had a good conversation today. We got into it.
We did.
If you've made it this far along and you're not pissed at us yet, thanks for listening to our show, to the Untamed podcast. I'm really intrigued to hear from both people who agree with this and people who disagree. Like if you were someone who would sit in that room and completely agree with it all, I want to like hear your opinion. I don't want to hear you. Maybe clean this up though. Let me clear this up. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to yell at me or call me names.
Don't trigger me.
No. I'm saying like. Don't like
no I know
stick to the points. I know, you know. Yeah. No, I know. I'm just saying like
don't be an asshole.
Well, not necessarily that, but it's like have a
help
debate.
Us understand.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Try to make us understand.
If I don't know or understand, teach me.
Right, and you yelling at me in an ad hominem attack and calling me names is not going to get us anywhere, and it's not going. It's not a good discussion. It's not a good conversation. If you can keep your cool and we can have a discussion, I would love to have a discussion with you.
Yeah.
Like, so email us at theuntamedpodcast.wild@gmail.com. If you agree or you disagree, I want to hear people's opinions. And if you know someone who agrees or disagrees with this, who you'd like to hear on the show, or you'd like to hear them talk about any other topic, let us know. If you want to be on the show, maybe let us know.
We're ready, man.
Yeah, send us those emails at theuntamedpodcast.wild@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at The Untamed Podcast. My name is Jonathan Havenhill. I play in a band Desertfish. You can find me and the band on Instagram at John_Human Sounds and Desertfish Band.
John Human.
Juan, take it away. Oh, also go give us a rating on Apple Music or on Apple Podcasts. And,
my name is Juan. You can find my stuff on Instagram at Juanald, JUANALDDD.
There it is.
Julia?
Wow, you didn't forget this time.
I didn't.
So I have an Instagram, and that's about it.
Yep.
And you can search it by typing in EXXSPIRAVIT and smash that follow button. Or don't. I'm not going to force you into anything.
Thank you for listening to the Untamed podcast. I'm Juan.
And I'm John.
And ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Let's see if it works while it's recording. Nope. Why is it not working?
I don't know, John. I don't know.
I said I'm gonna cry about it. Now is it working?
It's not playing.
Ability to focus. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice. So
You did it.
Shitty cable.
Chitty.
Trash.
Chitty, chitty, bang, bang.
Bitty bitty bum bum. Please don't put your foot in my pocket. Please don't do that. It's making me feel weird.
I'm so sorry.
I'm just
I
kidding.
forgot you weren't wearing underwear. I swear I didn't feel anything.
It's fine.
Okay.
I felt it.
It's okay the way I'm sitting, dude. It's like turtling.
Ew. Oh, yikes.
Yikes.
I'm choking on Rockstar.
John's still recording.
Wait, what?
You should put that at the end of the episode.
Please don't.
I'm choking on Rockstar.
Just this whole clip.
This whole time that we've been sitting here and
Like
Julia had no idea that it was
after our
recording.
theme music.
Blooper.
A blooper.
A blooper.